You wake up and something feels off. There are no mosquitoes buzzing around your ear, no ants crawling across the kitchen counter, no buzzing bees outside your window. At first, it feels like a blessing. Finally, a summer without itchy bites or fruit flies ruining the bananas. You scroll through your feed, people are celebrating. Headlines are calling it the insect miracle. No more pests. No more stings. It's like the planet finally got the memo. But the excitement dies fast. By lunchtime, there's an eerie silence outside, no chirping, no humming, just wind. Your garden looks fine, for now. But the birds are gone. Not dead. Just missing. You don't think much of it. Until 3 days later when the strawberries in the fridge start rotting faster than usual and the store shelves start to look thinner. Like someone didn't restock. That's when you realize this isn't a glitch. Every single insect has vanished. No butterflies, no beetles, no bees, not even the ones you never notice. All gone. Overnight. And now the world is starting to feel strangely hollow. Not quiet. Just wrong. Because here's the thing, while you were busy dodging mosquitoes, they were busy doing something else. Thousands of invisible jobs. All day. Every day. And with them gone, the whole planet just hit the pause button on a system it's been running for 400 million years. So the real question isn't where they went. The real question is what breaks first. And that's when things start to get weird. Because the first domino doesn't fall where you'd expect. 3 days without insects. You barely notice. But by week 2, nature does. Fruits stop showing up on trees. Flowers begin to bloom. Beautiful but barren. The world looks alive, but it's functionally sterile. Because 75% of flowering plants, insect-pollinated. That includes almost everything juicy, sweet, or colorful on your plate. No pollination, no fruit. No fruit, no seeds. And no seeds means nothing grows next season. And it's not just bees. We always talk about bees like they're the only ones doing the work, but moths, beetles, ants, wasps, they're all unpaid interns keeping your food chain alive. Remove them and you don't just lose mangoes and melons. You lose cows and chickens. Because they eat crops and those crops need pollination. Even the grass in pastures sometimes relies on tiny insect activity beneath the soil to keep regenerating. So what happens next isn't just empty farms. It's empty stomachs. But hold on, it's not just above ground. Underground? That's where the panic really starts. Because insects aren't just pollinators. They're also cleaners, decomposers, sanitation workers of the natural world. Every time something dies, plant, animal, even poop, insects are the ones who recycle it back into the earth. Without them, decomposition slows. Like a lot. Dead matter just piles up. You start seeing unrotted leaves carpeting the forest floors, carcasses sticking around too long, and the air turning weirdly sour in wild areas. And with that buildup, fungi and bacteria go into overdrive trying to compensate. But they weren't built to handle the full load. You start getting fungal blooms in strange places, bacteria in water sources, and an explosion of pests that aren't insects, like rats, who are thrilled to fill the gap. That's when the balance really starts slipping. Food's running low. Nature's bloated. Cities are oddly quiet but tense. And while the world is still technically functioning, it feels more like it's stalling. But this isn't even the breaking point yet. That's coming next, and it hits in a place humans thought they had total control over. You'd think farms would collapse first. Or forests. But surprisingly, the tipping point hits inside cities, right in the places we thought insects never mattered. Supermarkets start limiting produce, but that's expected. What's not expected is the medicine shortage. A surprising number of compounds used in drugs, painkillers, antibiotics, even cancer treatments come from plants that need insect pollination or ecosystems supported by bugs. Suddenly, pharmaceuticals are harder to make. Prices climb. And alternatives don't exist. Not yet. Hospitals aren't overwhelmed. But they're uneasy. Because when antibiotics slow down and sanitation starts struggling in more rural areas, diseases begin behaving differently. With decomposers gone, waste management becomes more than a city issue. It becomes a public health crisis. The tiniest cut can get infected. A simple fever can spiral. And with flies and scavenger beetles gone, even human remains don't decompose like they used to. Morbid, yes. But it's biology. Emotionally, people crack in unexpected ways. The silence starts getting to people. Not a poetic, peaceful silence. A sterile one. No fluttering wings. No buzz. No chirps at dusk. We never realized how alive the air was until it became dead space. Like living in a museum. Beautiful, preserved, but fake. And just when scientists and governments begin scrambling to bioengineer pollinators, tiny drones, artificial fungi, genetically modified wind-pollinating crops, the real blow comes. The soil starts dying. Insects aerate soil. They break down matter. They feed microbes. Without them, the ground begins compacting, suffocating. Plants grow slower. Roots don't spread. Microorganisms decline. Farms become dust bowls. Forests turn brittle. All this because the bugs are gone. And now, the only question left isn't how to bring them back. It's whether it's already too late. Because if they disappeared overnight, what if they don't come back at all? So what really happens if insects disappear tomorrow? Not over years, not slowly due to climate change, just gone. Overnight. First comes relief, then confusion, and eventually, collapse disguised as coincidence. Crops don't fail immediately. They just become less reliable. Yields shrink. Prices rise. People blame drought, maybe politics. But it's not that. It's the absence of millions of wings and legs doing billions of unnoticed jobs. Pollination, decomposition, pest control, soil aeration. Every one of these is vital. But they're also invisible. And that's the danger. Because the systems we trust, agriculture, medicine, wildlife, clean water, they all borrow from the insect economy. Quietly, constantly. When that economy crashes, the ripple effect doesn't look like chaos. It looks like confusion. The kind where no one knows exactly why food's spoiling faster. Why diseases are showing up in weird places. Why fruit trees bloom but stay empty. Why the forest smells different. And here's the emotional truth, this change isn't loud. It's hollowing. Kids grow up without butterflies. Flowers bloom for no one. The skies stop humming. The world looks the same but feels emptier, like someone turned down the background track of life. The parts we romanticize, spring mornings, buzzing gardens, dragonflies near water, they just don't happen. You don't realize how alive the planet sounded until it goes mute. And society? It adapts, but poorly. Cities try to replace insects with machines. Micro-drones, pollination bots, chemical alternatives. But nature didn't design these systems to be replaced, she designed them to be balanced. Artificial fixes work for a while, but they're expensive, fragile, and soulless. You can't code a bee's intuition. You can't 3D print an ecosystem. And while tech helps the privileged survive, billions are left out, locked in a world growing less fertile by the day. We'd see food rationing, mass migrations, dying biodiversity. And at some point, it stops being about saving the planet and starts being about keeping it functional enough for us to stay on it. We stop talking about beauty, diversity, or wonder. We talk about calories, germs, clean air. We start designing a world that doesn't need nature because we accidentally erased it. But maybe the scariest part is this, we wouldn't even see the insects disappear. We've already stopped noticing them. We've sprayed them out of gardens, paved over their homes, lit up the skies they use to navigate by. If they vanish, we'll think they just took a break. That maybe they'll come back. But they won't. Because this isn't a movie. There's no dramatic return. No queen bee rallying the troops. Just silence. And in that silence, one thought keeps creeping in. If the smallest things can hold the world together, how many other things are we ignoring right now?